10 things you need to know about the Galaxy A73. When it comes to smartphones, there's a big focus on flagship phones that have all the latest tech. But sometimes we can miss out on some really great phones that go under the radar, like the Galaxy A73. In fact, the A73 was so under the radar that when Samsung officially announced it, it seemed like an afterthought, as they only gave it a single line of 117 characters in a press release about the launch of the A33 and A53. But now that the phone's been in the hands of consumers, YouTuber KL Gadget TV said it best: "This phone will make you hate expensive smartphones." But before we get started, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and then comment "subscribed" so I can give you a personal shout out in a future video. Hello Technophiles! Welcome to Tenzi's Tech. I'm Scott Leffler, and this is our list of the 10 things you need to know about the Samsung Galaxy A73. Number 10. Price. As smartphones have become more capable, they've also become more expensive. Both Apple and Samsung have worked hard to keep their base flagship phones at $700, but really this is more of a marketing ploy. If you want a flagship phone with a large screen, a decent battery, and tons of hard drive space, expect to spend around $1,000 or more. But this is what makes the A73 so amazing. It only costs about $500 with an impressive set of features that will appeal to a very large audience. To put this in perspective, $500 is what you would spend on a base flagship that's 2 years old from Apple or Samsung. This is a very comfortable price for most people and places it solidly in mid-range territory. The only question is, can Samsung deliver a capable enough phone at this low price point? Number 9. Size. Generally speaking, the bigger the phone, the more expensive it is. This applies to nearly every smartphone manufacturer. This means that if you want a large screen on a flagship, you'll have to be prepared to shell out some serious money for the privilege. But the A73 really mixes this up. It features a 6.7-inch display, making it the second biggest current generation phone that Samsung makes, with the S22 Ultra at 6.8 inches being the biggest. The A73's display is larger than even the S22 Plus at 6.6 inches and just slightly bigger than the iPhone Pro Max. Okay, I know some technophiles are already commenting that technically the Fold Z has the largest screen, but that's a completely different class of device and is technically a tablet in that form anyway. Of course, large phones may not be your thing, but when it comes to low-cost small phones, there's a wide range of options, so it's nice that those who prefer large devices finally have an affordable option. Number 8. Cameras. Apart from size, one of the biggest features people look for on a new phone is a great camera. This is one of the easiest areas for manufacturers to cut costs on, but thankfully the cameras on the A73 do not disappoint. The A73 effectively has 3 cameras: a standard wide-angle, an ultra-wide, and a macro. There's also a depth camera for camera effects, but unfortunately no telephoto. Samsung makes up for this by giving the main camera a 108-megapixel sensor, giving you plenty of extra resolution to digitally zoom when you need to. The main camera also features optical image stabilization, and the default camera app now has an object erase tool, which has only appeared in the S22 line of phones. Top this all off with a 32-megapixel selfie camera, and you have a serious content creation tool. Granted, the camera quality isn't quite as good as the flagships and lacks a few premium features that the top 1% of power users will miss, but it offers enough bells and whistles to delight nearly everyone else. Number 7. Battery. One of the biggest things that the S22 has been panned for is having too small of a battery. And at only 3,700 mAh, it's one of the smallest batteries on any phone Samsung currently makes. But the A73 doesn't have this issue, as it packs a massive 5,000 mAh battery, the same size battery that's found on the S22 Ultra. Samsung claims that the battery life will last 2 full days, and consumer tests have shown that it will last over 7 hours of non-stop intensive use, giving it about 40% better battery life than the S22 Plus. This isn't the best battery life of any phone that Samsung offers due to the higher power demands of the display, but it is a huge step up from the current S models. Number 6. Expandable memory. In 2021, Samsung took away the expandable memory option for their S line of phones, and it didn't come back in 2022. Nor are we counting on it returning in the years to come. This is likely a great feature that's going extinct, like removable batteries and headphone jacks. But it isn't extinct yet, since the A73 does offer expandable memory up to 1 terabyte. To make this even better, the A73 also comes in the same internal storage sizes as the S22 and S22 Plus. That's 128 gigs and 256 gigs. This gives a ton of flexibility to power users who like to fill their phones with thousands and thousands of cat videos. It does feel a bit odd, though, that Samsung would give this feature to a mid-range phone while holding back from the flagships. Like I said at the beginning, this phone will make you hate expensive flagship devices. Number 5. Display. We've said it many times before on this channel that Samsungs always have excellent displays, even if they don't always meet our wildest hopes and dreams. So it should come as no surprise that the A73 has a great display too. The A73 sports a crisp HD Plus Super AMOLED Plus display with a refresh rate of 120 Hz. That's quite respectable for a $500 phone. And in fact, it has the same pixel density as the S22 Plus. That said, this is by no means cutting-edge tech. In fact, the last Galaxy S phone to use a Super AMOLED display was the S9, and even then it was still equipped with HDR10, which the A73 is not. But these aren't massive differences, and 120 Hz is really impressive. The first S-series phone to feature 120 Hz display was the S20 only 2 years ago. And iPhone only just started offering this with the iPhone 13 Pro and Pro Max. It should be noted, though, that the refresh rate isn't adaptive like the S22s or iPhone 13 Pros. Number 4. Build quality. This is one area where we can really start noticing the design choices Samsung made to cut costs. The front screen is protected with Gorilla Glass 5, which was first introduced back in 2016. The last S-series phone to use this was the back of the S10, and before that the S9 was the last to use it on the display. While this isn't the latest Victus glass, you can easily put a tempered glass screen protector on it for added protection. Instead of the glass and metal that we get with the current S-series lineup, the sides and back of the phone are made of plastic, which also isn't very premium. It is a high-quality plastic, but it's still prone to scratching and smudging. But on the flip side, it's less prone to break, and if you do break it, then it should be cheaper to fix than glass. And if you're the kind of person to put a case on your phone, does it really make a difference anyway? Number 3. Chipset. It also shouldn't come as any big surprise that the phone isn't getting the best chipset. When it comes to their A-series, Samsung tends to use efficient chips rather than high-performance ones, and that's what we get with the A73's Snapdragon 778G. In terms of performance, it's comparable to the chip used in the Samsung S10, but offers much better battery performance. It won't hold up to intense gaming, but it's more than powerful enough for day-to-day use. It's also worth mentioning Samsung's throttling fiasco with the 8 Gen 1 chip in their S22 phones. In short, Samsung throttled the chip's performance because their phone couldn't manage the heat. But they removed the throttle on benchmarking apps in order to trick consumers into thinking they were getting better performance than they really were. So, given the choice of raw performance or energy efficiency, we tend to favor the stability of energy efficiency. 2. Charging. We're down to our last 2 points, and these are the ones that hit the hardest. Everything else thus far has been a fair compromise, but we couldn't find a way to justify these last 2 issues. The phone supports 25-watt fast charging, which first appeared on the S-series back with the S20, so no issues there. But the phone surprisingly lacks wireless charging of any kind. It's been featured on the S-series phone since the S6, but has not appeared on any A-series phone to date. But to make this worse, Samsung also eliminated the headphone jack, which was present on the previous A72. Taking away the headphone jack without offering wireless charging forces the user to choose between charging and listening to music. Of course, Bluetooth is an option, but the phone is only equipped with Bluetooth 5.0 instead of Bluetooth 5.2, meaning it won't be capable of giving the hi-fi sound that audiophiles crave and a wired connection provides. Wireless charging tech has only gotten more affordable, so we would have at least liked to see 5-watt wireless charging. But still, this doesn't compare to the biggest issue with this phone. Number 1. Availability. If you watched to this point and are opening another tab to add this phone to your cart, you may have run into a big problem: availability. The release of this phone is in very limited markets, primarily in Asia and most notably in India. If you're in the Americas or Europe, unfortunately, it's not likely this phone will ever be available in your market. This is likely due to the fact that Samsung doesn't want to pull from customers that would otherwise buy a flagship S-series phone. And in all fairness to Samsung, with the value the A73 offers, it's a justifiable concern. So, what do you think? Would you rather buy the A73, or are the premium features of the S-series enough to justify the extra money? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, you'd also like these other videos. And if you've already seen them, then be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss our future tech videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.